Hi there, my name's Karen Perkins, and this is my conflict style. This is for my COM 390 class. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, my background. This is me in this picture, my husband of 27 years. His name is Jeff. We met and married while we were at Boise State. We have 3 this year with engineering degrees, and they both serve in the military. And my youngest is in high school. I homeschooled each of these 3 boys through 8th grade until they went to high school. That was my job. I retired from it last year, and that has taught me a lot for my conflict style. So that will come into play as I explain it. I'd like to tell you currently where I'm at and the ways that I want to change my conflict style. And the goal for me is always to grow and change and be the best version of myself and add value to the lives of others. So here we go. Bye. Okay, my current status is the type of worldview that I have is a competitive worldview. I think a lot of that comes from my background, my upbringing. That was how I was raised. And also my occupation as a homeschool educator. I was the administrator, the educator, the go-to gal, the one who ran the household, the one who got people to everything they needed to go to, the one who pushed people beyond themselves and to succeed. And that really played into what I was brought up from, that competitive style of worldview. The good news is that I've been married to my spouse for 27 years, and he is very cooperative. He is a operations manager for a company. He makes all the departments play together with each other nicely. And he has taught me a lot that have balanced. I have mostly a competitive conflict style. And when I took the test in this course to figure out what my conflict management style was, competitive came in as an 8, collaboration as a 7, compromise a 6, accommodation a 6, and avoidance a 4. Apparently, I don't like to avoid conflict very much. That's not something that I employ. And I think that kind of comes out of that having to be a homeschool mom and when running the show for many years, because we really didn't have time to really needed to deal with it. Apparently, my best way of dealing with it was through a competitive worldview. It was, well, to be blunt, there was a high concern for self and self-preservation. I also knew that I had a whole family to run and a whole school to run. So my concern wasn't whether those underneath me really liked what we were doing or not. It was just the fact that we needed to get stuff done. Apparently there's one winner or one loser in this competition conflict style, and in that kind of mindset, and that the sources are scarce. And that really was the case. I mean, that really was. There needed to be one leader, and it really worked well. My boys really grew and thrived with me being that way, because I think I could push them, and I could also help them to become better, help them to develop the skills that they were going to need for later on. So it wasn't all bad, and it's not a bad thing to have, but I do want to become a little bit more collaborative in my mindset. Let's see if I can get my screen to move on here. There we go. Okay, so collaboration, as we learned, is high concern for self and high concern for others. And I think that I scored very much a part of me. I taught my family to take care of themselves and also to take care of other people. And we currently live that out in our life. We host people all the time who need a place to stay. We're currently hosting a mom right now whose husband is in the hospital battling leukemia, and I do have a high concern for others, and I do work well with other people. We, throughout the years, have hosted a whole lot of people, and that has helped me also to develop that. Compromise, accommodation, and avoidance, really, I utilize them all. I know how to utilize them. They're not my favorite, and I can go into lots of reasons for that. Compromise, I feel like somebody loses all the time. Each person loses something. Accommodation was overused in my life. I was a bit of a people pleaser, and I realized at one point that it wasn't serving me or my family. It was just wearing us out. And so I kind of abandoned avoidance. I never have felt that it has really helped anybody with conflict. Of course, I do know how to avoid. If it's a conflict between other people and it's really none of my business, I do know how to avoid it and stay out of it. The other conflict nuances that are part of me is the emotional expression. I don't see it as favorable. I always had my emotions on my sleeve and led a lot of conflicts with my emotions. And I think that everybody just thought that when I did that I was not quite, I don't feel like it's quite under control. And I really don't want to have that as my conflict management style. Third party help, I think, is favorable. I think that everybody, like even right now, I'm getting third party help with conflict management because I know more as I go out into the workplace and in with my future goals for what I want to do. I want to know how to deal with conflict. I'm going to see helping people in emergent situations. Neglect, I don't see as favorable. I don't really want to put that in my life. I don't like passive aggressive situations. I see it necessary sometimes, but it's not something that I want to incorporate. Hang on, my screen is moving on. Just taking a minute. This course is helping me grow a lot. Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize that learning about goal interference would be so important to me. But it has really opened my eyes and helped me to understand. It's also helped me to understand that I like low power distance, and that will help me in my future careers to understand that I want to collaborate with people. I like low context communication, and that I like things spelled out for me. I don't like things talked about in metaphors. I'm very American. And that also helps me to understand as I work with people from different countries. I've had some opportunities come up that perhaps I can help work in Hong Kong and Singapore. And I need to understand that the way that I am might not be the most favorable way to work with them. I've been individualistic. I worked with a lot of people who cared a lot about the children that they were teaching. We worked in homeschool co-ops. We taught each other's children. We were with different things. We cared about those kids, and we did a really good job. So I feel pretty balanced there. I really would like to grow in active listening. I want to learn to talk less. I want to learn to reflect more and repeat and summarize. I want to ask open-ended questions, and I want to develop my patience. My patience was lacking. It's growing, though. I'm a health coach right now, but I've realized that I'm either a hammer or a sander. And sometimes I'm a hammer. I'm looking for a nail to hit, you know. I've got to hone in on the way that I help people lose weight and maintain weight. Sometimes I've got to hammer in on a situation and be fairly direct. Other times I need to smooth and help things. And I see those as those two different conflict management styles, as the competitive worldview and as the cooperative. And I want to really develop both of those. I'm changing. Last semester, I did the Myers-Briggs test, and I was an ISFPT. ISFPT, yes, an adventurer. I was 51% extrovert. This time I was 57% extrovert. And I think the health coaching has really helped me. I have to call people. I have to check in with them. I have to keep track of them. I have to do that even when I don't feel like doing it. And I really actually enjoyed it. It's been very rewarding. Last semester, I also took a SIGI 3 test, found out that I'm social. I work well with others. I'm enterprising. I lead, organize, and inspire. I'm conventional, and I have attention to detail, which all plays into exactly with this conflict management that we're finding out about ourselves in this course. My multiple intelligences were very balanced. I was high in all three realms of multiple intelligence, and that helped me to know that I can actually be a good conflict manager in the future. So I'm going to work on that. My biggest thing is active listening. I really want to put, I made this and I I put it on there twice, best listening type, because I really want I want to come in with a conflict management mindset. I want to give people momentary full attention. I want to be able to figure out the best listening type for the situation. And learning this in this class is really opening my eyes and helping me. I want to be able to deal with emotions before substance. And that's already started to develop as I work with my teenage son. I want to ask questions and get information, but not sound like I'm judging somehow. And that's something that I'm working on. I want to learn to frame or reframe onto common ground. And I think I can do that somewhat. I didn't list on there, give information the others need to know, and check for mutual understanding while problem solving, because I was fairly adept at that. That's really a big portion of my conflict management style. But this kind of gives you an idea of the things that I'm working towards in my conflict management. Active listening has stood out to me, and I really want to work on that the most. I hope that gives you a really good picture of who Karen Perkins is. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to the rest of what we're going to learn this semester. Thank you.